Hi, this is Heather Hart from trainingauthors.com, and I wanted to show you this free tool that I use to make quote photos and photo collages. It's called Picasa and it's from Google. So if you want to download it, you can go to picasa.google.com, which is the website here on the screen, and you can download it. And it works on any Windows computer. And again, it is a free download. It downloads directly to your computer, and then you can use it to edit your photos and make quote photos or photo collages. So I'm going to use it to make a photo collage with my book cover for a quote photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my file from within my folders. Now what this program does is it imports all the photos on your computer. So you're going to see I've got a ton of folders over here. That's the one drawback to this program, because sometimes it can be hard to find the files that I'm looking for. However, if you make a special folder for all your images, you can learn where it is pretty quick. So this is the one that I'm working on. And I'm just going to go up to Create, and then I'm going to make a picture collage. And it's going to open this up. Now what I've already done is I have created custom aspect ratios, which is the size of the picture, to what I need. So this one is my Facebook link share. If I post this on my blog and I share the link on Facebook, this is what will come up. This is the right size for that. You can also do you can make it whatever size that you need. So I've got the sizes in here for my blog post feature image, for my desktop background, Facebook cover, Twitter header, all those different sizes that I need. I already have them saved in here, and you can add them. You can add even more. You can add a custom aspect ratio and just add your own. So I've got my Facebook cover photo that I added in here the other day. See, they're all here. But for this one, I'm going to do the motivational quote, because I'm just going to show this as a quote photo on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is, here's my book cover. That's the book that it came from. And then I've got my quote that I'm going to add in here. So once I get that set exactly where I want it, I'm going to click Create Collage. And that's going to create my collage. Now once I'm in here, I can edit the text. You can always go back in and edit the collage. Like if you don't want the pink background, you can go in and grab a different background color. You can even use images for your, like if you wanted to use the image as your background, you could do that and then take the photo off of there. You could do almost anything on here that you want. So, but I wanted to use a solid color, and you can take off that drop shadow in the back or whatever it is you want to do. There's so many options. For right now, let's just go with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in my quote. And I've already went through my book and picked out several that I wanted to use. You're just going to click anywhere on here and you can put it in there. Now you can go through and change. So that's too small, so I'm going to want it much bigger than that. I'm also going to want a different color. And then you can go through and change your font. And it'll show you the different types of font that you have, and you can just pick whichever one you want. Like I said, there's just a whole bunch of them. And then you'll have to go in and make it fit your space. And you can center your text and split it up just the way that you want it. I actually want mine to go this way. If you want that smaller, you can shrink it. You can angle it if you need to. You can do all sorts of things with this program, and it's so simple. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over to my smart URLs and grab my smart URL for this book. And then I can go back to the book and I can put that link on the bottom, so everyone will see the link to go directly to the book. And again, like I said, you can do all sorts of things with this program. It is insanely simple and easy to use, and I absolutely love it. And once you get that done and you've got everything just the way you want it, you can come over here and click Apply to apply your text changes. And you can go in and still edit those at any time, so just apply your changes or cancel, or even clear it if you want to start over. But again, there's all sorts of different things you could do if you wanted to edit a different photo. And while this program does not come with photos, it does again pull all the photos from your computer. So you could go to a site where you can download royalty-free images and use those photos to create your own quote photos. But once you have it, you go to File, Save As, and then you can just save it to a place on your computer. So this is and that'll just save it to my computer. The other thing I wanted to show you was how to do just a picture. Like if you don't want to add your book cover, if you don't want to add extra graphics, you can also just edit a picture. So if you go back to your library, you'll see all the pictures that you have in your computer. So this is the one that I just used for my book cover, for my new book that's coming out next month. So it's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to go to Picture, View and Edit. And then if you want to crop it, again, you have all those aspect ratios that I showed you. So I want to do a Facebook link share. So this is going to go on my blog, and then I'm going to be able to use it to share on the quote that I use. And it will give you just click which way you want it to crop it. You can choose from any of those, and then you can also resize this. It'll just keep the same aspect ratio. So that's what I wanted to use. I even make it a little bit bigger. And then you can just click Apply, and that gives you your background. And then you can just go through again and add your text. So I'm going to leave it right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply, and then I'm going to change it so that that pops out more by changing the background. And then I can still go in and edit my text if I want it. Maybe I want it smaller, so it, probably not. Maybe I want it bigger. You know, you can just change all these things around. Nothing's set in stone until you click Save. And even then it usually saves a file so that you can go back in and edit it later on if you need to. Like if you found a typo or whatever. So these are just some of the other options that you have. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add, this book isn't published yet, but I'm going to put the title down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to outline it just so it's easier to read. And then I've just got a quote photo there. And again, this might not have been the best photo to use for this. It was just one I wanted to use for an example. However, I'll still probably use it in my book marketing at some point in time. So again, once you have done, you've got to apply all of your changes, and then you can just click File, Save As, and you'll have it ready for you. Again, this is Heather Hart from trainingauthors.com.